Welcome to The Shift Show with Adriana Bucci. Join me every week to learn all about narcissistic abuse recovery, healing from physical and emotional pain after the abuse, and everything else to do with toxic people and how they affect your physical, emotional, and mental health. And no, you are not the crazy one. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Let's get right to it. Welcome to episode number 17 of The Shift Show. This is a great interview that I had with Roxana Safdia. If you don't know her, she is the founder of The Black Sheep Survives. If you are not following The Black Sheep Survives on Instagram, I highly suggest you do. Her page is amazing. It has all the truth bombs you could ever want, all to do with narcissistic abuse and healing from the abuse. Roxana has been consulting victims and survivors of abuse since 2016. She has earned her Master of Science in Conflict Analysis and Resolution, and she lives in Houston, Texas with her husband and 9-year-old twins. Enjoy our interview. Hi, Roxana. Thanks so much for coming on my podcast.
Hi, Adriana. Thanks for having me.
Why don't we start off with just tell us a bit about yourself and like who you are, what you do, and how you got into the coaching field.
So I run the Black Sheep Survives over on Instagram, and that pretty much started out of, I needed a place to heal. And there was nothing anywhere that I would see that spoke what I needed to hear. So it started out from like a need that I needed to express myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, I just found that I'm a natural coach. So I started coaching people as of 2016 while I was going through my master's program in conflict resolution, and it just became a natural fit. And then I started building my business from there.
That's so awesome. So when did you start the Black Sheep Survives on Instagram? Because it's really blown up.
Yeah, May 2016. So it's,
wow.
Yeah, what is that, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's a while.
Wow, yeah.
It flies. Time flies.
Yeah. Right? Time flies when you're like doing what's right for you.
Yeah, it's actually become like more of a passion project. It's something really amazing that I didn't even know that I could do, and that was needed. I really, we talked about this when we did the IG live video, that I really felt like I was the only one. The only one that struggled with narcissistic mom. I knew that there were a couple things out there, but I wasn't seeing the content that I needed. Yeah. And out of that, I started just writing exactly how I felt each and every day. And unfortunately, online became my online journal. So I just express myself wholeheartedly through there. And each and every day I have to write.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And, so many people find like a therapeutic thing from seeing your words. Like I remember when I stumbled upon your account the first time, I was like, this girl's speaking my language. Like it is amazing.
I had no idea that what I was going through was something that thousands of people are going through. I don't know if you did express that you also felt like the only one at certain period of time, because the stuff that we go through is so unbelievable.
Yes.
Our stories, every time we articulate something, people look at us like, regular people.
Yeah.
Who aren't part of the clan. Right. Regular people are like, huh?
Yeah.
What? That's not a movie? And you're like, no, that was Saturday night.
Yeah, like they look at you like you grew a second head.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is normal. That's basic for me.
That's too funny. It's so true. And you really do feel like you're the only one because, it's not like you're going to go around in public wearing a sign saying, hey, I have a narcissistic mom. Anyone else have the same issue? Let's chat.
No, I mean, I think what you do say is, and this is when, when we're unhealed, we're living on autopilot. We didn't even have like the terminology to describe anything. We're just like, oh, this is sometimes my mom or my sister or they're really funny. They might say this, but they actually mean this. And please do not you have to prep people that you bring into the house. Like if you bring in like a new boyfriend, you're like, listen, they might be nice to your face, but what they're really doing is X, Y, Z. Or a friend, and you're like, listen, don't get fooled by this one. This one will rope you in and have you doing favors for them and running here and there. So don't get too friendly with these people. And that's like our normal.
Yeah.
And we had no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's like, it's funny that you mentioned about like how you have to warn people when you bring them to your house to like, you know, hang out or whatever, or bringing home a new boyfriend or like your friends. It's funny, that just made me remember that like one time one of my friends came over and, you know, we were getting ready to go out and my mom's mask just came off that night and she yelled at both of us for
Oh my,
going out. Yeah.
your friend got it too.
Yeah. So
I had a
it's,
code word. Like if
oh
you
yeah.
ask my husband at the very beginning, we had a code word.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I didn't, again, I didn't know what things were,
Yeah.
but there was protection modes that I would go into, and it'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, listen, if I see this, it's time to leave. And my husband, sometimes he will get so entertained that, I'll be like, honey, let's go to Target. And he'll be like, we went to Target yesterday. What is that? Honey, let's go to Target. Remember? Let's go to Target. Oh, yeah, we got to go to Target. I'm like, and the company told you, go to Target. That's our thing. Remember?
Yeah. That's such a great idea, having that code word.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that they do need code words. They need protection modes
Mm.
around these people because have you noticed that like you do it to protect yourself, but you didn't even know what things were when
Yes.
you were doing certain things?
Yeah.
And a lot of us, this is why I say, like, I had that other podcast the other day that just got released, but I said that healing is forever. You've been
Yeah.
healing all your life. And we talked about this. People know what to do and what to self-protect themselves, but now we have the terminology to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know
Exactly.
that we've been trying to gray rock for years.
Yes, it's
How
so
long were you
true.
trying to gray rock for?
Honestly, yeah.
All my life.
Right? And it's just like such a protection mechanism and a way to set a boundary. And until you put a name to it, like, you know, I feel like it's so important to have terminology,
Yeah.
right? Like, as survivors, like, people think that the word narcissist is a buzzword. And, you know, I think like people who want to complain about that, you know, like they just don't get it. Like, they've never been in that situation. And for people who have been like raised by narcissists or in a long-term relationship with a narcissist, you need a freaking word.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, that's part of the shaming thing that I don't get. And I'm going to get a little bit on my soapbox about this because I
Yeah,
think
go
it's
for it.
so important. A lot of people try to shame us. Like they don't know what it's like to grow up under a narcissistic family, generational abuse type of deal. And when they shame us, like, do you realize that we've been shamed and ridiculed and hurt all of our lives for expressing abuse? And now, as professionals, you're trying to dismiss the very thing that is saving our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I put the shame right back on those people. And a lot of people don't like it. Then I'm actually so straightforward. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be shamed for speaking my truth, for helping other people. Because you know how many people send me messages, and I'm pretty sure they send you messages of,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for your page. You're saving my life.
Yes.
I'm actually currently trying to work myself out of this situation that I'm in because now I'm noticing the narcissistic traits and now I'm able to gray rock or low contact them or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, and I'm not feeding into my reactivity anymore. Do you know that being reactive causes family violence?
Yeah.
People take their lives, people hurt other people because they get so reactive and being in an abusive situation that they don't have any other option.
Mm-hmm.
And by
Exactly.
us talking about it and saying, you know what, there is a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could change whatever it is that you're going through, protect yourself, and get out of that situation rationally by having the terminology. You're actually saving people's lives. It
Yeah.
really, really bothers me and it hurts me in a really hard way that people are trying to take away or diminish what we do.
Exactly. Exactly. And like narcissistic abuse, it's such a specific type of abuse that you need a word. Like, if you're looking to buy pants or shoes and there's no word for that, how do you know what to look for? So when
Yeah.
you first learn about narcissistic abuse, like, it's natural to go into that Google rabbit hole and do all the research possible, but without having a name, like, what would you even look for? You continue staying abused when you don't have terminology.
Yeah. It's actually saving people's lives by us talking about the cycle of abuse,
Yeah.
what it looks like, being love bombed. Being love bombed not only by a spouse or a partner or a potential date, being love bombed by our parents.
Yeah.
Man, does that blow your freaking mind when
It
you realize you're
does.
being love bombed by your parents? What does that look like? I'll give you an example. You make up with your mom because you guys had a fight, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden your mom's texting you 24/7. Do you need something? Can I
Yep.
run to the store for you? Hey, can I take care of your kids? Hey, do you need help doing this? And she's overly there trying to work on your relationship.
Mhm.
She shows up as a model parent, and then next thing you know, she stops calling you as much. She
Mhm.
stops, she starts making digs at you, and then here you are in that eggshell stage where everybody dreads and everybody knows, oh my gosh, when is going to be the next blowout? Because now she's taking away the love bomb.
Mhm.
She's taking away that resource. She
Mhm.
says she wants to help you out. She'll help you after, you get divorced, you break up with your partner, you could live with her. She'll help you with a job. And next thing you know, she's not there for you anymore. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is gonna happen? When is the next fight?
Mhm.
And you provoke some victims provoke the fight.
Yeah. It's natural.
Yeah, because you're like, I just want it to be over.
Yeah. Because things
I,
stop making sense.
yeah, you want the love bomb to come back because you think that that's love.
Yes.
No, that's love bomb. You're caught in the addiction cycle.
Yeah. And then they use that love bombing against you when you are in that fight, and they say like, oh, well, I was there for you and I offered you help and you're just so ungrateful and you're such a terrible person.
Yeah. When you were pregnant, I was there for you. When you gave birth, I was there for you. Who came over and helped you when you were with the baby? XYZ. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They do this to new parents. They do it to everybody because that's what narcissism is. They're doing something so they could abuse you afterwards.
Yes.
That's just all it is. It's doing something nice,
Mm-hmm.
do something to hurt you, and use the one thing that you need from them. They're very good investigators too. They know exactly what you need.
Yeah.
They do
Yeah.
their homework. They're like, you know what? Right now, she's lost her job. How can I come in and save her?
Mm-hmm.
And then they use that against you down the line. I was there for you when you lost your job. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to say to that? What are you going to say to somebody who helped you out?
Exactly.
But then they are doing things to manipulate you and hurt you in the back end. You don't
Yeah.
have a leg to stand on.
Exactly.
So a lot of people put up with the abuse because of what they've done, all the favors, or maybe there's some monetary value there roped in,
Yeah.
or maybe there is the, future money gain.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different things. It looks different case by case too.
Yeah.
We could talk to somebody who, potentially can inherit millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And you could talk to somebody who just wants to have a loving relationship with their parent and they can't because their parent is hooked on drugs or
Yeah.
something like that.
Totally.
Very case by case.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, I think bottom line, there's a sense of obligation in the victim to the parent.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it looks so different for everybody. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna be homeless? Like, as a kid, I need to. You see a lot of posts about millennials now taking care of their parents.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I just read one about how somebody in New York, their latest roommate mate was their mother.
Wow.
They had to. Their mom lost her job, and she spent the 401k on him and his studies. So now he is obligated to help her out.
Wow.
And it's different. Like, see, now that I don't know if there's narcissism involved, we
Right.
don't know, but we don't know what's going on. It could be, hey, I took care of you all your life, now you have to take care of me.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's a generational thing where you do take care of your parents and that burden is put on their child when
Yeah.
they're born. It could
Yeah.
be very cultural too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Like, yeah, like my family, like we're Italian. So there's just this whole like family culture thing where it's like you're just so enmeshed in it. And it's almost like cultural abuse where they're just using culture as an excuse to be abusive.
Oh yes. Yeah. There's no boundaries in culture.
Yeah. It's like anything goes, anything goes. Your parents are God.
Yeah. And I came from my background as Hispanic, and we're also very,
Yeah.
like, what I'm doing, honestly, is so shameful.
Yes.
By trying to have a healthy, normal relationship with different people, by me walking away and going no contact and being no contact with my family, what I'm doing is so shameful
Yep.
and looked down upon that I really had to break another stigma in order
Yes.
to break the cycle.
Yes.
And that meant that I needed to heal from my cultural stuff. And I'm healing through my cultural stuff, where there was a period of time that I didn't want anything to do with culture.
Yeah.
And now, through working through my own things, I realize that I miss my culture. I love my culture. I could still have it in my life. That's
Yeah.
something that I didn't have to give up.
Exactly. It just
Because
doesn't
part
have
of
to
me,
mean that, you know, you have to be obligated to people who abuse you just because you share DNA.
yeah, but it's so strong
Yeah,
in our family backgrounds.
totally.
Yeah, and it's hard to say. Some stuff will flash back, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go to certain places, that feeling will flash back, and you're just sort of like, man, I miss certain things,
Yeah.
like dominoes.
Yeah.
Playing dominoes, seeing people play dominoes and
Oh.
talking Spanish.
Hmm.
For me, it's like when I see them doing that, it just makes me so happy,
Yeah.
because before it would just be like I lost something,
Yeah.
right? And now I'm like, oh, I could talk Spanish with you.
Oh,
Yay. I get so excited, you know
that's
what I
awesome.
mean? Because I'm looking at it through a different lens now, where I can
Yes.
incorporate certain things in a healthy way, versus I got to shun away from all this stuff. Like that, the culture part is not the bad thing, it's the abuse part that is the bad thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And it took you doing your internal work to see it that way.
Oh, yes. And we need all of us, everybody. I think healing is not one of those things that is just for a specific group of people.
Right.
It's for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people don't understand. Like when we talk about narcissism and we explain it without using the word narcissism, chances are that somebody's going to say, I know somebody like that.
Yeah.
It's more common than people think. That's why people think, oh, it's an over buzzword. It's really
It's
not.
not.
Everybody knows somebody who's narcissistic
Exactly.
in some degree.
Yeah, exactly. And like all the literature, like the scientific stuff, if you will, it there's like a statistic that like only 2% of the population is narcissistic. Well, like of course, because no real narcissist is going to turn themselves in and get a diagnosis because they think they're perfect.
Why do we have thousands of followers then?
Exactly.
If what we write about is only 2% of the population or whatever it may be, how come people relate to our stuff so much?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
there's a disconnect somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's something happening. And in real life, sometimes when we go out with other people, we meet other people, sometimes when they realize what I do, sometimes they have questions for me, or they'll say, oh my gosh, I divorced somebody like that,
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know if this happened to you too.
Yeah, it has. It
It's so
has.
normal
Yeah.
because we all know somebody like this. We had a boss or a friend or, a
Yeah.
family member or somebody
Mm-hmm.
that resembles some of this. Some people just sort of end that relationship, quit their job, walk away,
Mm-hmm.
but it stays with them.
Of course.
Narcissism is a scar that stays with people.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can heal from, but you have to be willing to put in that work into yourself to do that healing. And it can be really hard for a lot of the victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse to even think that they're worthy of doing it because they just feel so unworthy because narcissism leaves that unworthiness wound in you.
Yes. And this is the hard part about it. Narcissists look for all your weak areas to exploit and
Yes.
feed off of. So if you have your self-esteem is not the best,
Mm-hmm.
even though you try as much as you can
Mm-hmm.
to better and to get out of that hole, they'll be like, "Ooh, her self-esteem is not the best. That's what I could attack every so often. So they come in with their love bomb. You think they're the perfect person. You care about them. You start building a relationship because that's what you do. You build a relationship with somebody who's healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, when you're in a fight, they cut your self-esteem and you're like, that was a big ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should have never said that because that's not fighting fair.
Yeah.
And we hear that, who in a relationship doesn't argue?
Mm-hmm.
But people who are narcissistic, they cut deeper and
Yes.
hurt more than the average person.
Yes.
They do things, they exploit all the little things that you have told them in a very vulnerable state and they throw it back at your face at your most vulnerable moment to cut you and hit you like there's no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so hurtful. And that chips away at your self-esteem, at your,
Of course.
everything that you have going on. And next thing you know, you're just an empty shell of a person. You used to be this bright, beautiful, fun, outgoing person, and that person's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Some people turn into addiction over drinking, drugs, looking for validation. They they give up altogether. Why? Because they're in a narcissistic relationship.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to come back from that. It really is.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It really takes a big effort to
Yeah.
get to that point where it's like you can even admit that you were abused.
Oh my, that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to say, I've been a victim.
Mm-hmm.
I've been abused.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they've been around people who play the victim. And
Mm-hmm.
we talked about this the other day too. It's so important to say, to get to that stage where you are okay with saying, you know what? I was a victim of
Yes.
something. I've been abused. Is that a label that you carry throughout your whole life? No, that's just something that happened to you. You acknowledged it. Now you're healing from it. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't define who you are as a person at all. We all have to deal with certain things. And I think coming to realize that we all deal with different things and being abused is just one of them
Mm-hmm.
will actually help you grow as a person.
Yeah. Exactly. Like just naming it for what it is: emotional abuse, narcissistic abuse, and being okay with the fact that, yeah, you were victimized at a certain point in your life, but you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So by acknowledging it and knowing that, yeah, I was victimized and that really sucks and that's okay, that's how you take that first step towards doing the healing work, finding the support out there that, it can be really hard for a lot of people to find support because naturally society has indoctrinated us to get support from our families. And that's not
Oh
an
my gosh. Yes. Well, that's the hardest part of this whole thing. A
Mhm.
lot of people, especially if you're dealing with narcissistic abuse in a family situation, what do you do when you go through something? You go to your mom.
Mhm.
If your mom is your abuser, or you don't know she's your abuser, but let's say that something happened with your friend,
Mhm.
right? And your friend did this to you. You're going to go to your mom to get advice, who's your abuser too.
Yeah.
She's going to give you shitty advice
Yes.
because that's all she knows. All she knows is abuse. That's her bread and butter.
Yeah.
So somebody who's abusive, their advice is going to come from an abusive nature. That's why it's so important to go outside of the circle of people that you know who's truly somebody who is a neutral party,
Yeah.
doesn't know anything that's going on, maybe has an idea of narcissistic abuse. I prefer somebody who has narcissistic
Yes.
abuse background, just me personally.
I agree.
Just because when you explain some of this stuff to the lay person, they might say, oh, you're just dealing with a normal conflict.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a dysfunctional family. Narcissism is not dysfunctional.
Mhm.
Narcissism is abuse. So you need to go to somebody who knows what triangulation and setup and manipulation
Mhm.
and playing the victim and what that looks like. Because I have people who come and sit down in my sessions and tell me what's going on, and I'm able to talk to them. And they're like, I got more out of this hour than I've gotten in years of going to
Yes.
therapy. And I think that happens with you too.
Oh my God,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to like toot my own horn, but I understand how everybody plays then I understand the dynamics of family relationships.
Because you went through it.
Yeah. You need to match your experience and your academia all together
Exactly.
to understand the situation. You can't read about this in books.
Exactly.
Like, you read about it in books and you're like, what the hell is that? I don't know about that. And let's concentrate on this over here.
Yeah. And then how do you help somebody when you've just read about it in a book and you never actually experienced it yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. You would never understand how a mother could do this to her own children if you grew up with a normal, healthy mom who
Yeah.
did the best she could.
Yeah.
Because that's not your experience. You
Exactly.
see your mom like maybe have a couple scenes here and there, you know, she takes a couple shots, but she still did the best she could with you. If you confide in her, your mom opens up and has that safe, nurturing space for you. For us, we don't have that.
Mm-mm.
We go to our mothers and they tell you, you deserve that. Good for you. What's next?
Yeah.
You should build a little thicker skin.
Yeah.
That's
You need
nothing.
to have more self-esteem.
Yeah, like, you deserve that.
Yeah.
You are the one that messed up.
Yeah. It's your
You
fault.
know how many times I heard that? Like, you deserve that. You
Yeah.
messed up. You shouldn't have even said anything to begin with.
Yeah.
So you're teaching me not to stand up for myself?
Yeah.
That's what I got on my
Totally.
life. You're teaching me not to stand up and be assertive. The moment that I started really being assertive and standing up for myself and using it to better myself, that's the moment that was the beginning of the ending of our relationships.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Because, you know, they start, as soon as you find that inner strength to be assertive and start standing up to yourself, you don't take the abuse from these people anymore, even if it's family. Even if it's family, you do enough of the work to realize, like, DNA doesn't matter, adoption doesn't matter, like, however it is that you're related to them, depending on whatever your situation is. The fact is abuse, family or not. And, you know, you would have never learned that from your mom.
Yeah. You would have never learned to normalize abuse if it wasn't there altogether. It's like this
Exactly.
elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
Think it's normal. It's been there all your life. You're like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
mom's gonna crazy today. No big deal.
Yeah.
You're used to
Exactly.
it every once in a while. This is your normal. Your normal is people acting crazy every once in a while.
Exactly.
So when you meet other like healthy people who, yeah, go through their stuff, normal stuff, you're like, what's happening here? This
Yeah.
is
Why do they
weird.
have it so easy?
Yeah, you're like, wait, you guys are not going to get into a fight every so often? Like, you really like your mom? What?
Yeah.
You guys go away on trips?
What?
Nobody killed each other? There's no big blowout at the end?
No one
No.
screams at each other every day.
Yeah, and it's actually, you're like, wait, wow, I want to have that. I feel like when I got to the place where I was like, I want to have that with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to be that mom
Yeah.
for my kids. I don't want to be the mom who is just like, ugh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, arguing all the time and falling out with people all the time. I want to be the mom that they want to come home to.
Yes.
That we do fun stuff on the weekend. That they want to come back from college and have a life. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to be that friend too. And I want to be that spouse. That's when my life changed.
Yeah.
Because I realized I didn't want to be angry anymore.
Exactly.
And I don't want to. I don't have the mindset to just continue on being a horrible human being, because in order to participate in all these cycles and have these relationships be alive, you have to adopt this like anger mentality, and
Yes.
you have to become horrible too.
It's true. It's true.
And that's the hardest part. And I feel like that's why people don't get help,
Yeah.
because people feel guilty because they have done something wrong that they feel ashamed of.
Yes.
And they feel like they're going to get punished, or it's going to be revealed like secrets wise.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like I deserve to live this for the rest of my life. I don't deserve to get better or heal because I did this a year ago, 2 years ago, 5, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't healed from it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big part of you that feels like you deserve all the bad things that come and have happened, and you just have to continue living like that because you're essentially like paying for your sins, for a lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It is paying for your sins in some weird however it is that you rationalize it, it's like prison.
Yeah.
Like you're doing your time.
Yes. For being such a horrible daughter.
Yeah, you're doing your time, and every year you do your take. Every year you do your take. But what you need to realize is sometimes your sentence is up, and it's up to you because that cage is wide open.
Yeah.
And you're the only one holding yourself back from healing, from actually becoming the person that you want to become. You don't have to stay pigeonholed because that's how your family dynamic is.
Mm-hmm.
The people that love you and support you for real will be revealed when you
Yes.
start working on yourself. Actually, a lot of them wake up and they're like, whoa. I don't know if you've gotten this expression, but people are like, oh my God, Roxana, you actually have changed. I could have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I used to fly off the handle
Yeah.
for anything inconvenience. Like any little inconvenience, I was like,
Yes. I was the same way too. It was like the
because I
worst
couldn't,
thing ever.
it was like a pressure cooker, you know, like
Ah.
I was at my max and
Yeah.
I was barely keeping on.
Yeah.
And I just used to react to everything. Like if I was having a hard day and like my dog used to like bark or something like that, I used to be like, oh my God. Like everything was an overreaction and a drama.
Totally.
And
Totally.
now I'm like, all right, you
Yeah.
know, I'll handle it. I've handled so many different things that now I'm okay with
Mm-hmm.
handling whatever comes my way.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why it's so important to just even acknowledge that, there is all this pent up anger from so many years of just not being able to express it before because your emotions were an inconvenience to your parents or to your whoever your abuser was. And so you just bottle everything up. And that's why, a lot of people who are survivors of narcissistic abuse, we do tend to go off the handle quite a bit before we start doing that emotional work to be able to just get these emotions out in a healthy, safe way. And, you can't really, you can't do anything about it if you're not aware.
Yeah. It's not that you're gonna be like peace and love, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Toxic positivity.
You're not, that's not gonna be your life. Your
Yeah.
life isn't gonna be like, I'm gonna sit here and if some crazy stuff happens, I'm gonna meditate about it. Like
Yeah.
it's not like maybe.
Yeah.
But we're still gonna have reactions to things. It's just not gonna be one moment after the other. Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna have 5 reactions a day.
Exactly.
It's gonna be less and less and less and less. And that's what healing is. You're gonna be like,
Exactly.
oh, I don't have to react to that.
Exactly. You realize what's not worth having a reaction over.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, why put that energy into reacting over the dog barking or, them being out of a specific type of water at the store or whatever.
Yeah. You know,
It's,
now it's like it's different. Like let's say before, right? Somebody would have texted me. I had something like at 11 o'clock, right? They would have texted me, oh, I'm running late. Before, if I was like super stressed over something, oh, I can't believe how inconsiderate, the meeting should have started at 11. Like, what happened?
mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, oh, okay, take your time. I have time.
Yeah.
Now I'm able to verbalize certain things and like go with the flow more.
Yes.
Not feel like everything, I have to get defensive and reactive over everything. Like, not everything is a personal attack.
Yeah. But
And before, everything felt like a personal attack.
Exactly. Exactly. They made it a personal attack on you before.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it really bothers me when a lot of people are like, don't take it personal.
Oh my God.
That's one of the 1 commandments. Where's that book? I have that book somewhere. What is it? One of the amendments. What is it? What is that? What is that? 4 amendments.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So because the book says there's 4 of them, now people like to like quote it back to me. And I'm like, listen, you're trying to make a personal dig. Yeah. You're trying to be personal. It's a personal dig. Exactly. So don't tell me to don't take it personal when you're being personal.
Exactly.
You know? Exactly. Now, if you're trying to give me general advice, make sure that I consult you with it and I'm paying you money so you can give me advice. Otherwise, butt out.
Yeah.
I don't like people, I don't know. I don't like people giving me advice or talking down to me or
I hear you.
Like that. But I'm able to talk to them. I'm able to have a conversation now versus just like ripping their head off.
Yeah.
very beginning.
Exactly. Exactly. Like just doing your healing work, it just helps you to like be more rational about things and just more level-headed. And you can't get to that point if you just do nothing about it and you choose not to heal and you're still stuck in that bubble.
Yeah, it's a choice too, though.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard for me to like even like look into doing any sort of healing work. That
Yeah.
was against, you know, very like logical and science based. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everything had to like make sense. There has to
Yeah.
be a study behind it and all of that. So whenever I started looking, I had no choice but
Mm-hmm.
to. Like it
Yeah.
was like either I lose my mind or I heal.
Exactly.
And I remember once when I first started like the page, it was like a month in,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept seeing this healing stuff come up. I started like friending a lot of people. I like literally lost myself there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I went no contact and I was like, what is going on? So I started friending a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing the word healing come up. And I was like, what's healing? Everybody keeps
Yeah.
talking about healing. What is this healing business? I had no idea, right? So what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? You're gonna ask. So one of my first posts was, what is healing? Thank you very much. Let me know. Nobody replied. I gotta tell you, nobody replied. Nobody told me what healing was. So I was like,
Oh.
okay, this sucks. Nobody told me. So I'm gonna go do my own homework. Like I'm very research. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do my own homework. Started looking and Google was even more confusing than ever. And I was like, oh God, I really don't understand what this healing situation is. Thank you. Then I started like looking up boundaries, and then that I really started going through my grad school program like hardcore because I was
Mhm.
going through like an accelerated hardcore thing, and that helped me focus on what things really were. So
Mhm.
through me learning how to coach and do different things for other people, it
Mhm.
helped me go through
Yes.
it for myself.
Yeah.
So I did the double work when I was going through grad school. If you really think about it, then I started really like saying, "Oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna implement. This sounds great. I'm gonna make a note of that because that's exactly what I want to coach people on through my perspective, through the narcissistic perspective.
Yes.
Some stuff I'm like, I don't know about this stuff.
Exactly. And
Some
that's
stuff
okay.
I'm like, yeah, and some stuff I'm like, this works really well. And I had a disconnect between what my studies were and what narcissism was.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, conflict resolution is all about resolving conflict,
Right.
right? Two parties coming together, neutral ground, trying to work something out, ask questions, getting deeper, understanding, yada, yada.
Mhm.
And I had a really hard time, like a disconnection between you got to go no contact and low contact with these people and resolving contact. Like, how come
Right.
with certain people you can resolve it beautifully, and
Mhm.
how come with certain people you can't?
Yeah.
And then that's when I started uncovering because it's abuse,
Exactly.
Roxana. It's not conflict, it's abuse.
Mhm. There's a big difference between conflict and abuse, which,
And that was the aha moment that I needed, that
yeah,
I put together. Like, it was like a puzzle piece. I had this section and this section, and I found the glue.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is huge. That is so huge. And I think that's so helpful for anyone listening because, you know, they might be looking at this at as if it's just a conflict and not actual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a difference because a conflict is something that can be resolved. And it takes both parties to actually resolve that conflict.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to abuse, it's like the abuser is not resolving anything. And if they appear to be resolving anything, it's a manipulation tactic so that they can continue to abuse you.
Yeah. Because with an abuser, it's my way or the highway.
Right.
If you don't do things their way and you know what way that is,
Mm-hmm.
then comes, you know, the other way: manipulation, guilt, stonewall, kicked out, silent treatment, smear campaign. There's
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of others.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
totally.
And that's the part that conflict resolution is missing, is both people don't want to work it out.
Yeah.
One person just wants you to do whatever it is that they're telling you to do. If you don't do that, you're going to suffer the consequences.
Yeah,
And the consequences are horrific.
totally.
It really breaks down the other person into nothing.
Yeah. It's like a soul injury.
Yes, it is. It's horrible.
It is.
And that's why whenever somebody says stop talking about narcissistic abuse, I'm like, no, I'm
No.
not. I'm never going
Yeah.
to stop talking about narcissistic abuse. because you don't know what it's like to be in those shoes of the other person, feeling like they have nothing to go on.
Exactly.
They feel like the only way out is, God forbid, taking their own life.
Yeah,
They feel nothing. So I'm not going to stop talking about it.
exactly.
But this is life-saving stuff that we're talking about.
100%.
So I'm
I
going to
couldn't
continue
agree
talking
more.
about it.
Good.
Adriana is
So
going to
am I.
continue talking about it. And
Absolutely.
it's a difference between life and death.
It really is. It really is. Because, you know, I know there's some people who are probably thinking like, oh, well, that might be a little dramatic, but no, like the way that they cut you spiritually, emotionally, mentally, your mind goes there.
It's not dramatic at all. And I have cases on cases on cases. I've done cases in grad school about family violence,
Mm-hmm.
the indicators of family violence,
Yeah,
red flags. We can go into it and talk about it, but I feel like that's a whole other podcast.
definitely.
But if you start talking about it, it's not dramatic at all. People
Exactly.
have lost their lives because they've been dealing with somebody who's heavily addicted, heavily abusive, and they don't know how to get out. They don't even think, they feel like they can rescue the other person,
Yes.
which is sick and sad because you cannot rescue somebody. Everybody has to do their own heavy lifting.
Exactly.
So codependent people who think, I'm just going to stick around waiting and hoping that somebody's going to change, please rescue yourself.
Yeah. Or you're going to wait forever.
Yeah, and it's not right. You're just throwing away years waiting for somebody to change their narcissistic ways. They're not going to change. If they would have changed, if they wanted to change, they could have changed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Especially if it's your parent. Like, they have been alive and an adult ever since they had you. Even if they had you as a teenager, they have some years on you.
Yes. They
You know
made the
what I mean?
choice to continue not
Abusing.
being a good parent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Abusive.
choice. And I'm pretty sure that as a victim, you've articulated it several different ways. Mom, you've hurt me. This is the way you've hurt me. And now I have to distance myself. It's up to them to get that message and change. If they don't want to change, it's up to them.
Exactly. And if they start pulling the crap of, oh, how could you do this to me? How could you say that I hurt you? You're so ungrateful. You're such a terrible person. That is also abuse, because that is them trying to like mess you up mentally so that they can continue abusing you. And it's important that people understand that.
It's psychological abuse. You're manipulating somebody. You're guilting them. Oh, family's everything. How can you do this to your mother? Well, really easy. You keep overstepping your boundaries, so I have to set a boundary.
Exactly.
And this is a boundary for me to protect. How are you going to protect yourself from your mother? Yes, I am. Broken record boundary.
Exactly. 100%. Do you have any final words of wisdom for any of our listeners who might be dealing with a narcissistic parent or significant other or whatever?
If you're dealing with a narcissistic parent, just know that if you've tried several different ways, just know within your heart that you've tried. If you want to make one last connection with them and set one last boundary, that's up to you. But also know that you need to protect yourself. And sometimes you need to protect yourself from your own parent. Even though you know, oh, that nobody's going to love you like a mom, nobody's going to love you like a dad or a family or whatever it may be, sometimes that's a lie.
Yes.
And know within yourself that they're lying to you. If their actions prove otherwise, know that that's conditional love, not unconditional love.
Exactly.
But conditional love, they take away from your mental health.
Yes.
If you feel drained, depleted, you can't go on, you have panic attacks, you feel depression, talking to them sends you into a depression spiral, know that you need to set a boundary in there somewhere. Something has to change because you deserve to be happy, healing, and healthy for the rest of your life. You don't deserve to feel imprisoned and bad all through your life because they're your parent. So help yourself get out of this situation.
100%. Awesome. Thank you so much for these amazing pieces of wisdom. How can people reach you if they want to get in touch with you for coaching?
Yeah, so I'm over at theblacksheepsurvives.com. Also, if you want to like just come in and be part of our group, I run the Black Sheep Survives over on Instagram. You're more than welcome. There's a lot of different things. Some of it might be triggering, so some stuff is good, some stuff is bad. It's information more than anything else. It's not therapy, it's just information. It's not coaching, it's information. So just take it for what it's worth. And I hope that some of it speaks to you and it resonates with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again so much for being on my podcast. And this interview has been super awesome. I think this is going to help so many people that are listening because, you know, this is a problem that isn't talked about enough.
I know it's under talked about.
It is. It is.
So thank you so much for having me too.
Of course, anytime. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.